We're so happy to have
Thanks
you
for
with
having
us.
us.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So we were talking about this before the show. We didn't know you actually went to the University of Vermont.
I did.
Yeah.
What
I
was
was
it
there
like
for a
up
year.
there?
Cold. Really cold.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Actually, I had a great time up there. Great people, and I just love the outdoors. And I wanted to go to school in Colorado, but I didn't get in to Boulder. So I was like, well, I got into the school in Vermont, and it sounds
Kind of
pretty
the
fun.
same thing, but on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
and,
Very outdoorsy. They love their nature up there.
A lot of good outdoor
Love
adventure.
their homemade soaps.
Yeah, and a great
Right.
country bar called JP's down on well, there's a couple. I knew all the bars. That's where I spent most of my time. The Blarney Stone was a great spot, and most of my friends would hang out there. But this bar JP's played country music, and I'd usually wind up there singing, hanging out with the guy that was playing there for tips and playing Hank Jr. songs with him. So, but I knew when I got there, I was like, I got to get to Nashville.
Yeah.
But it's a great spot.
Would you say that your start then was at the University of Vermont when
He
it comes
sang
to
that.
like
That's
country
right.
music?
Yeah,
Did
New
you-
England is
Did you
responsible
write
for this.
songs, though,
Yeah, I was,
at the
I was
University
writing
of Vermont?
songs.
Okay.
Wow. I just watched CMT all day long in the
In the
dorm,
dorms.
and Alan Jackson was on there singing Chattahoochee, and I was like, man, I got to get down to Tennessee. This place is awesome. But let's give the New England some credit there for
Thank you.
launching my
We need
career.
some more sports credits. We need some more songwriting.
Hey, I was
Vermont
watching
doesn't-
basketball. I was pulling for y'all.
Vermont doesn't need any more
serious.
credit than they get. They're fine.
They don't want any credit. They're like,
They got the general store
talk
with
about us,
the
leave us
rock
alone.
candy.
General store,
yeah.
we're
They-
off the grid.
yeah.
Just leave us.
They'd rather just be a part of Canada. at this
Speaking of
point.
songwriting, you've had so many songs. Do you find that writing nowadays is more difficult because you're always trying to find the next vibe or the next genre
Yeah.
that like hasn't really been tapped into country music? Because from when you started back in the University of Vermont days to now, like country music has really changed.
Yeah, you try to evolve as a songwriter and maybe write deeper stuff, but you somehow always gravitate back towards beer. I mean, I have 2 albums in the song about beer. I'm like, what is going on here? You just can't get out of this. Like, I have a song called "Beer at My Funeral," which is a really really great song, and then of
really
course
great.
"Beer's on Me" with Breland and Hardy. But it's what I learned I guess back at like 2011 or 12 is that you just can't write the whole album. I remember like hearing Miranda Lambert's song "The House That Built Me," and I just assumed she wrote that song, but she didn't. I'm like, whoa, she didn't write that song. And I looked at her album, and she's writing half the songs, and she's picking songs from the great pool of songs that live in Nashville, Tennessee, all the songwriters there. So I try to draw from there as well as write my own stuff. But I'll end up writing this album's taken 3 years to I'm not even done with it yet. I've just been writing,
Yeah.
working on it for a long time. But yeah, it does get harder to
Does
answer
your
your question.
wife like the beer songs, or does she like I'm sure
Yeah.
she's your biggest supporter. So when you bring home a
Kinda.
song, is she like, oh
pretty critical.
my God, is she? So what is
I'm
the
like, babe,
vibe
you don't
of
have to
Dierks
just,
that she
you
likes?
don't have to be just like a eye squint is enough criticism for you to please do not I don't need any more than that. I take it very personally, but she knows. If I come a little closer, a song I wrote way back in the day, I tried to play that off as I came home I wrote this song for you, and she's like, you didn't write this song for me. You're just trying to write a hit. I'm like, no, it's all about
Baby,
you.
this
And
is
I
for
wrote,
you.
yeah, this is all, yeah. So she's pretty good at seeing through the BS, but she loves country music, so she loves the fun songs as well as the more songs like Riser and some of the heavier songs too.
I mean, you've obviously had a lot of hits. Is there any song in your catalog that you were like, I really thought that was going to be a hit, and it just didn't?
Oh yeah,
Like it had a great hook, and you were like, this is gonna be huge, and it just didn't.
Yeah, there's been. Bourbon in Kentucky, I thought would be a huge hit. It wasn't. I've been playing it at some shows. 'Cause I just love that song so much. They've all done pretty good. My biggest regret is just songs that don't become singles. Songs that you want to be a single and you don't have space or time to release them to radio. So every album has a couple songs I'm just like, I wish that'd been a single, because if it's not a single, probably not going to play it. I try to keep the show pretty packed full, like the hits and fun, and maybe 1 or 2 moments in there for creativity.
Yeah.
But the rest of the time, it's about, all right, let's put the hammer down and have fun.
You can. I don't know if you can see this. Something
amazing.
happened back in November, and I'm at month 8.
Wow, congratulations.
Something happened.
Something happened. Well, there's children in the audience. Something happened between my husband and me that I can't talk about. But any advice as a dad?
Gosh.
A dad
Is
of
the first
is it
one?
3?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my first. We know it's a boy.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you have any advice,
I remember.
would love to know.
Yeah, I remember. I had 2 girls, which I was so thankful to have. We had our first daughter, and I think as a guy, you kind of expect to have a boy, and then you have a girl, and you're like, what am I going to do here? And then I had our first daughter, and I was totally in love with her. And I kind of wanted the second kid to be a girl too, so they'd have siblings. But that third kid, I'll be honest, I was kind of like, I remember I talked to Luke Bryan. I was like, Luke's one of my good buddies, and we were going into the place where they put the little thing on there so they can see what's happening. You know,
ultrasound.
Ultrasound. I was playing it cool. It could be another girl. It'd be fine. Either way is great. But I was kind of looking around to see something, you know, and saw a third little foot.
No.
Kind of there. Oh, hang on a second. What's that thing? Turns out it was a boy, and I called Luke when I got back to the car. Buddy, buddy, I can't wait to go fishing. And I'm like, my girls fish too, bro. But he's like he doesn't know anything but boys. But they're all great. My advice is just sleep as much now as you can. And
she works on a morning show.
I know you're in trouble.
I'm literally
We'll be
waking
used
up
to
at
it.
4.
You'll be used to it.
No sleep.
Yeah, you're gonna it's gonna be great. You have no problems. You don't need sleep, then you're gonna be a great mom. And congratulations.
Great
That's
advice.
really fun.
Thank you, Dierks.
It's
I
awesome.
appreciate it. And middle name is Dierks.
Oh wow, don't
now
do
it
that.
is.
No.
All right, Dierks Bentley, everybody. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys.
so much.
Thanks for coming out.